Moving on, and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz is expected to lose a historic no-confidence vote this Monday, paving the way, therefore, for the country to hold early elections next February. Scholz's three-party coalition collapsed last month when the Chancellor fired his finance minister, prompting the neoliberal Free Democrats to quit. It came after months of infighting over fiscal priorities and ideological differences that caused deep divisions within the country's first three-way federal coalition. Joining me now from Berlin is Markus Ziener, a fellow from the German Marshall Fund. Markus, thank you for your time. Germany, like France, is undergoing unprecedented political instability. So just take us through what led to today's vote.
Yeah, as you already mentioned, the three-way coalition of Liberals, Social Democrats and Greens faltered a couple of weeks ago because of differences they couldn't really solve. The neoliberal liberals, actually, they are more business friendly, and while the other two parties wanted to give more money to the social sector. However, I think the main difference was the pace of the transition of Germany to a fossil-free kind of economy. I think this was the major issue because, as you probably know, Germany is experiencing a recession. The economy is not doing well, and so are the tax revenues for the state. So the government doesn't really have money to spend, and so Germany has to tighten the belt. And the big differences were really about where to tighten the belt, what to cut back, and how to spend the money that's available.
And most are expecting Olaf Scholz to fail this no-confidence vote. So, Markus, what actually happens next?
Well, as we speak, there is the vote going on in the German parliament, and Olaf Scholz, the chancellor, will lose this vote in order to go to the president and to ask President Steinmeier to call for elections. The elections will take place in February, on February 23rd. That's what the parties have agreed on. And then we probably will be seeing a new chancellor, because if polls are not completely wrong, the CDU with its chairman and candidate Friedrich Merz is way ahead of all the other parties. And it looks like it's going to be Friedrich Merz as the chancellor, forming a coalition together with the Social Democrats or the Greens or the Liberals.
Now, you mentioned there that Germany is facing its deepest economic crisis, in what I understand, in a generation. So what's driving this economic instability?
If you look at Volkswagen, the biggest European car maker, and if you look at the troubles the company is going through, I think in a nutshell, you can see what went wrong. Volkswagen misjudged the situation on the Chinese market. They have strong competitors there, and they lost a good deal of their market share in China. And so for Volkswagen, a couple of things came together. A misjudgment, actually, of the market development. At the same time, a change of attitude of people when it comes to electromobility or combustion engines, and a lot of bureaucracy in Germany, and in general, a situation where an aging society is not providing the people that's necessary to keep the economy running, at least running at the pace we used to. So a couple of things happened to Volkswagen. I think that's also true for the economy at large. And this is what Germany is going through, a huge financial and economic crisis, while many demands are on the table, whether it's supporting Ukraine, whether it's investing more money into the German infrastructure, doing more for defense. So there's many needs, but very limited resources.
Now, here in France, we're also dealing with political and economic chaos. So what does it mean for the EU to have two of its leading member states confronting such extraordinary turmoil?
Yeah, there's a lack of leadership in the European Union, definitely, as we have seen. And I mean, there's this ongoing crisis in France, and the French-German engine was always of the essence when it was about keeping the European Union running and keeping the European economy running. So I think it's a very severe situation, in particular when you look at what's happening in the United States with the advent of Donald Trump again as a president, who probably is going to table further demands and wants to have a Europe speaking with one voice, and which is needed actually to counter Donald Trump. I think that comes at a terrible time. On the other hand, one could argue and say, well, it's better that there was an ending to this old coalition in Germany and to have the opportunity to form a new government, which probably then only will consist of two parties and which will then have an easier task of governing.
Markus Ziener, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.